What's going on, everybody? We have just lost. Leicester 1, Fulham 2. We've been humiliated in this game against a good side who have beaten us, but we've made it too easy for them. And what are your opinions on the game?
Where to start? First off, Fulham were absolutely brilliant tonight, and they fully deserved all 3 points. But from us, just the lack of sort of intensity, quality of getting any sort of threatening balls to Fulham was ridiculous. They couldn't have had it any easier. And I said it on our chat before, but like, yes, Fulham deserved it and stuff, but they will never have an easier game at the King Power. And like Scott Parker was probably expecting this to be one of the harder games of the season, hard place to come to get points. He won't have an easier game this season. Like Leicester gave Fulham absolutely everything this game. And they completely sort of, despite the fact we dominated the ball, they were in complete control. Up until the 85th minute, once Barnes scored, we offered next to nothing.
Yeah, literally, there wasn't really much to talk about in the first half. Yes, there was that run from James Justin where we hit the post twice, and Fofana should have put it away, but there really wasn't that much to go off of. And it's, for me, what's concerning as well is that we've conceded 8 goals in 3 games, and this is from a record where we've kept 1 or 2 or clean sheets and stuff like that. The defense looks absolutely wrecked at the moment.
Yeah, what I know we were praising it so much against Man City and against Arsenal, but is it really necessary to play a back five against Fulham, a team that we knew that we were going to be on the front foot against? Well, we hoped you would have been, and by playing that back five, you hope that adds defensive solidity, but it's not doing that. All it's doing is taking away a man from the attack, and also meaning that we're having to play Christian Fuchs, who again did brilliantly against Arsenal, did brilliantly in a few games, but the last 3 games he's played as a centre back, he has been well below par.
Yeah, it's something that I've definitely praised him for against Leeds and the way he's coached Luke Thomas and stuff like that. And this, maybe we give him. I think the problem is we're playing him game in, game out, and he's 34. He's playing in a new position, but we're trying to just spare him. And again, with Luke Thomas, I think there's just so much pressure, and he's going to be one for the future. We all know that, but even getting dragged at half time again is probably not good for his confidence. It just seems like the team selection. I know there's a lot of people that are out with injuries that are coming back into the squad soon, and there is certain people that are looking to push their game on in a sense, but I think Brendan Rodgers needs to take criticism for the formation and for the teams that he's played, as you were saying, because it just wasn't good enough. I mean, starting 4 centre midfielders today, with you're looking at a weakest Fulham side that you want to be players to break through, and you play 4 centre mids. That's a really strange decision.
I think it's not just playing 4 centre mids. I think it's playing 4 centre mids with 5 defenders behind them. It's like that's the formations you set up for going to the Etihad or going to the Emirates, sort of against the top teams. And no disrespect to Fulham. Fulham sat deep, absorbed pressure, and fully just hit us on the counter. But the thing about Fulham hitting us on the counter, it was so easy for them to just run through us. Our midfield, despite the fact we had 4 central midfield players on the pitch, it was next to non-existent when they were counter-attacking. It was like a knife going through butter, just straight through the middle.
Yeah, it was so easy for them. And some of the touches that were playing, the 1-2 pass touch, is something that we've seen with Leicester and got really excited about. And a lot of the time they were just hoofing balls up. The final pass wasn't any good. Jamie Vardy, as we've always praised, but he ran out that one time, just got the ball and literally just ran it out, which was completely weird. So what do you think it's down to? Do you think it's down to laziness or fatigue or just not playing right? Or what do you think it's down to?
I think it's a combination of things. I think Brendan Rodgers has got to take some responsibility for this. The team lineup from the start, in my opinion, just wasn't the right team lineup for the opposition that we were facing. But at the same time, I don't want to use fatigue as an excuse. everyone's got a congested fixture list this season. We're not alone in that. And we, as I was saying before to you, but Fulham have got a smaller squad than us. Yes, they don't have Europa League, but they basically have the same starting 11 game in, game out. So I think that a lot of it's going to come down to the mentality of the players that we had on the pitch today as well. Because even with the injuries we've got, man for man, we've got a better starting 11 than Fulham.
Yeah, and we've got a better. We should have been able to beat them today, but there was part of my brain that was thinking this is the kind of match that Leicester would lose. There's that little voice in your head, in the same way that when we won with Claude Puel last year, we lost to Cardiff, and the same thing we had Norwich last year, the same kind of thing. It just seems like we just don't. We need to treat every single Premier League game like it's gonna hurt, like it's like Premier League finals, because at this rate it's not looking good, and we do need to improve on that. Just something I want to pick up on is just one thing that we've said for Leicester, that when they get the ball at the back, they can press forward, they hold the ball, they know what they're doing. In this time, they just got the ball at the back and they just played 1-2-1-2. And even then, when it was boring, they played it in situations where they nearly conceded a few goals as well. It was defensively, we looked sloppy. And bearing in mind, Wesley Fofana obviously didn't have the best game today, but he's still a decent defender. Christian Fuchs he knows the squad inside out, and Johnny Evans is probably our like Rolls Royce centre back as well. So it's really sloppy play from three very, very good quality people.
Yeah, the thing for me about us playing out from the back, I'm a big fan of it. But from about the 70th minute on, where we're playing it out from the back, it's almost as if we're trying to waste time, as if we're the team that's 2-0 up. There was no urgency to get the ball forward and get the ball into our midfield to sort of create anything for the front men, which it was really strange. And it was like when we played it out from back, I think it was in the 91st minute. And at this point, we had a small chance of getting something from the game, and we were playing it. I think it was Johnny Evans played a ball back to Schmeichel from the halfway line when we're trying to attack and get a goal. It just, the whole mentality today just seemed completely backwards.
Yeah, and the worst thing is that it could have been more than 2-1. Again, Schmeichel came to the save a lot of the time. So at one time, I remember specifically, if in the last minute when Mitrovic, if he can just clear his lines and hit the ball over, that's pretty much a goal, because Schmeichel was over in the opposition's box to try and score. Because it was dire at times, and I'm really hoping that they can improve on this, because there was just problems all over the pitch from all sorts of people. And just maybe the squad just had a day off, but we've seen last season when we made that video at the beginning against West Brom, that this thing will happen again and again. So Leicester just need to get their act together, and the sooner they can, the better, because it's just going to be too long.
Yeah, and I think you're right. And going back to what you were saying about Schmeichel in the box, I think the moment that summed up the game perfectly for us is we had absolutely everyone in the box for a corner in the 93rd minute, and then we don't even beat the first man.
Yeah.
If you want the moment that summed up the game, that was it.
There was a couple of them, I think. One of them was Vardy running it out of play, in my opinion, getting the ball through, running it out of play. Another one where I think Under gets back to play, past the player, and then Kelechi can't even sort his feet out in order to just tap it in. Another one for me would be the bit where Johnny Evans plays a ball and it goes to, and Fofana and Schmeichel don't know who it's going to, and that nearly concedes an own goal. There were so many of these like calamitous mistakes that you just don't expect from Leicester City.
Yeah, and the thing is, this was our opportunity to bounce back from a disappointing result against Liverpool. And now we're going to have to go to Bramall Lane. And I know Sheffield United are struggling, but Chris Wilder will smell blood now, seeing that performance. And that's put in a blueprint for any lower team of how to come and beat Leicester. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Chris Wilder setting up Sheffield United in exactly the same way as Scott Parker's set up his Fulham team tonight.
It makes sense from a tactical perspective. I think one thing as well is that you've got Ricardo coming back, Soyuncu coming back, and Ndidi coming back for the Zoila Hans game on with Thursday as well. Could you see them substitutions coming in and making an impact to improve Leicester's perspective? Because, I mean, we are going to need something to bring us through. And do you think them 3 players, because they are big 3 players for us over the last, even from last year, and these are kind of players that we need in the squad to boost them and then go, right, lads, let's go and take this to the next level, and we've got the squad depth now.
I think, yeah, but at the same time, they're probably, particularly Ricardo's, I don't want there to be any pressure on him to hit the ground running. He's been out for 8 months. It's going to be a gradual process for him to get back to the level where he was at before. And then Ndidi, he's not exactly had a short-term injury, has he? So it's again about slowly finding his feet. And similarly to Ciuncia, I think Ciuncia is the only one that you can sort of throw straight back in and hope that he'll be at a decent level straight away. So yeah, they'll improve us, but we've got to be realistic about it and be patient with them.
Hopefully, because at the end of the day, with this squad, there isn't much time at the moment to improve, because this looks like we're only going one way and the one way is down. So hopefully we can get a result at Luhansk. We can get a result, get decent in the Europa League, put that to bed, and we can move on to the Sheffield United game. Because again, the games are coming thick and fast for us at the moment. We've got to get our finger out and get on with it, because it's not easy for us, but same with everybody else in the Premier League. So is there anything else you want to end on, Ant?
Just hopefully the next game, but we show more of what we're about, because tonight it's probably our worst performance of the season. So, and that says a lot, seeing some of the displays we've put in this season. We've put in some absolutely brilliant ones, but we've also put in some absolutely awful ones.
Yeah, this is definitely the lowest, in my opinion. Well, this and then the Liverpool game were equally as bad, if not worse, just because of the level of opposition as well. So yeah, so thanks for joining, Ant. I will see everybody in the next video. So goodbye.